In 1979, Mattel released a line of Japanese toys known as
The Shogun Warriors.
the most iconic figure in that line was Godzilla. It is now one of the top 10 holy grails in vintage toys. Today, we're going to take a look at the Super 7 Shogun Ultimate 8-inch Godzilla, complete with fist-firing action and fire-breathing. We're also going to take a look at another in the line of NECA's 40th anniversary D&D figures. Warduke figure is amazing. I can't wait to show it to you. And lastly, we've tracked down a crack team of commandos. That's right, we're jumping into vintage A-Team toys. Alrighty, first up, we have an homage to Mattel's 1977 Shogun Godzilla, which was the first release of Godzilla here in the US in the Shogun line. This figure is absolutely amazing. When I saw it, I had to get it immediately. As a kid, I had the original Mattel Shogun Godzilla. I have no idea how I got it, but I had it. Again, this was originally released in 1977, and I cannot wait to show you this figure. And here is the box, which is nothing like the original box, of course, released by Super 7. And it's part of their Shogun Ultimates line. And this is just a slipcover, so that we'll just slide that right off, allegedly, and reveal that beautiful Godzilla figure on the inside. So as you can see, this packaging is a nice bubble packaging where you can see that Shogun Godzilla in all its glory with its firing fist just like the original, and that red lever on his back to make that tongue come out and breathe fire. Let's take a look at the back of the box here. This is very similar to some of the packaging on the original Godzilla with the Godzilla in the circle and the little demonstration mode. And so we'll do what we do here on the channel, and let's unbox this thing. All right, before we get into the review of this figure, let's get some idea of the scale. Of course, the original Shogun Godzilla stood just over 19 inches tall, making him the shortest Shogun figure in the line. This beauty from Super 7 stands, looks like just over 8 inches, like 8 1/4 maybe. And it is an absolutely stunning recreation of the original. One of the things you'll notice, the original actually had rolly wheels on the bottom of the feet. This one does not. And our tail here rotates, and it's hinged. It's got some articulation there at the hip, just like the original, of course, to go back and forward. Likewise, the arm, and Godzilla himself turns left and right. And of course, let's take a look at that fire-breathing action. Ah. Very cool. You can just flip that, shoot the fire out. Very neat. And as mentioned, this is a faithful recreation of the original, and so it does have that fist-firing action. And wow, what power. It actually shoots really strong. And here is a close-up view of that fist for you to take a look at. Very detailed. It just slides right in there and locks right into place. So very pleased to have this one. You know, an original can run you $900 to $1,100 depending on which generation release it was. I believe they released 3 different ones. First gen obviously comes in at the top of the expense category. But very cool. If you can't have the original, this is the next best thing. Can't wait to see what other Shoguns are in this line from Super 7. I may have to be adding those to the collection as well. Next up is a figure that I have been dying to add to the collection. We spoke about it in a previous Chasing 80s video, and that is Warduke. This is a new NECA figure from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 50th anniversary line, and it pays homage to the LJN Warduke figure released in 1983. So much nostalgia for this figure for me. I did have this one along with the Fortress of Fangs playset, so I was so excited to see that this figure was being released in a modern, highly articulated form. And let's take a look at this packaging. First up is this great artwork of that classic D&D figure, along with the bio from Warduke. And on the back, we see here the full line. This is identical to the Strong Heart packaging, showing the 50th anniversary collection along with Ultimate action figure variations from NECA. So let's do what we do and let's get this thing opened. Once again, we have a really highly detailed figure. Just kind of stand interestingly. And there is a good picture of him in the front. And let's turn this thing around so you can see the back with his sheath for his sword. Another sword and a dagger or knife. In the detail, you can see his glove underneath this gauntlet. And you can see this kind of fish scale armor. Look at that helmet. Man, that looks amazing with the dark and the red eyes glaring out. Very detailed figure. And of course we have hinges or joints here at the elbows. Looks like the arm also rotates. I don't know about that. The shoulder looks articulated, but oh yeah, it moves, but very, very stiff. Same with this one. So be careful on those joints, but it does rotate. Looks like we have some articulation around the hip, but all this leather work on all these straps are going to restrict that movement quite a bit. You can turn a little, but not much. And of course, the loincloth, the fur detail is amazing. And I love this little touch of the gold chain holding the sheath onto the side. Got our knee joints. Rotates just below the knee. The ankle is articulated up and down, but just barely. So it will allow us to get some action poses. Very cool. So let's take a look at the accessories. And of course, first up is this iconic shield with that demonic skull, dark black eye sockets. Really cool looking. You can even see the detail that makes the shield look like it's pounded and formed out of metal. Really nice looking. And it's got some heft. So there's this nice leather strap that is not plastic, that again is more leather or pleather probably, but just like those straps, very nice. And the handle there. So we can slide this up his arm. Very cool. And of course, let's pose him with that shield. Very neat. So again, give you a look in there of how that shield is on his arm. God, this is an amazing figure. So next up, we have this dagger. Oh, that one definitely seems more angled, but fits right in there. So there's that dagger, nice and sheathed. Then we have this scimitar with the nice painted handle and nice detail work on there. I don't want to break it. There we go. So it takes some doing, but it does slide in eventually. So there's that scimitar in its sheath. So let's put his shield back down. And then the next accessory we have is this great big sword. Is our figure ready for battle? But that is not all. Not only do you get this great sword, shield, these two other weapons, and of course you can put the sword back here, but you get this flame effect that you can slide right down on his sword. There we go. Awesome. So now with that sword of flame, there is Warduke in all his glory. Propped up, this is a 7-inch figure. As you can see there, with his horns standing nearly 8 inches tall. What a great addition to this D&D lineup from NECA. So impressed by the detail on this figure. This is everything I had hoped for when bringing back a modern recreation of this vintage nostalgia. So happy here. So good. And first up is hopefully a familiar face. No pun intended, because here is Face. So, Murdock and Face, and you know B.A. Baracus, 3 of the 4 members of the A-Team. Again, these were released in 1983 by Cannell. Earl, and looks, you can see BA here has his iconic gold chains. He's also wearing an ammo belt. These figures, let's see, they stand, I want to say, are they 5-inch figures? 6-inch, looks like they're 6-inch figures. And these were originally some of the original toys that came out. There is also an accessory that came with this, or that you could get for this line. It is the Earl 15-inch plastic A-Team van. If they had that in stock, I would have bought it. And of course, the only other missing member is Hannibal. And because he loves it when a plan comes together, I went ahead and ordered Hannibal to complete the set. He should be here soon. These all did come with accessories originally, so these are all you see here. Of course, BA still has his belt on, but each of them came with accessories like M16s. In the case of Hannibal, he came with shoulder straps, a backpack, and 2 M16s. So there's a wide variety of accessories that came with these. But this is what I was able to pick up. And of course, we have the articulated arms. They move at the waist. You have these leg hinged so that they can sit down in the A-Team van, and his joints are nice and stiff. As you can see, they don't exactly sit great, but they do sit. And so let's get him back in place. And of course, there's those heads. And again, 1983 Cannell. I'll give you a close-up look of BA here with his iconic mohawk and haircut. Looks like he has the gold rings, but they are unpainted, the earrings. He pities the fool that doesn't paint his earrings. Your face looks like these are going to need a little bit of a cleanup here. They got some dirt on them for sure. And some scuffs. You can see some of the paint has worn off his hand. Maybe a bit of fading on the shoulders. But otherwise, these are in fairly good condition. Most of their joints, his are kind of loose, but for the most part, they sit well. You see that squishy head. The rest of them is solid. But they do stand well. And here is Crazy Murdock wearing his baseball cap. And of course, they gave him those kind of like shifty eyes because he is a lunatic. Again, some discoloration between the waist and the legs, but otherwise pretty good condition here. Some scraping on the rear. This is likely from putting him in and out of the van, whoever got to enjoy this figure as a child. But there you go, 3 members of the A-Team, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team. Well, there you go, guys. Wow, what a great collection of figures we have for you this week. Super 7 Godzilla is so amazing. I don't know how I got it when I was a kid, but man, this is exactly like that original, just in that tiny 8-inch form. And it is so detailed, it is so hefty. What a great piece to add to the collection. We also took a look at Warduke. Man, one of my favorite toys as a kid was that LJN 3 3/4 inch Warduke. And this one from NECA is amazing. The detail, the articulation, what an amazing toy. And lastly, we took a look at 3 of the 4 members of the A-Team, Face, Murdock, and Mr. T himself, B.A. Baracus. Soon, Hannibal will join the collection, and I cannot wait to track down that 15-inch Ertl plastic A-Team van to round out that collection. So, if you've liked today's video, smash that like button. I'd love to hear from you. What vintage toys are you looking forward to seeing? Did you enjoy any or have any of these when you were a kid? Let us know. It really does help the channel. And if you are unsubscribed, please, we would really appreciate a subscribe. And for more videos like these, ring that bell for notification. If you are interested in taking a look at another of the D&D 40th Anniversary Collection figures, check out this video right here. You will not be sorry. And until next time, have fun.